Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Found Tobirama Secret Base. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way over on Anime King 3. I'll be posting What If Naruto had the 6-side Sharingan, so stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, for new, yes, I need 4 channels which I post What If on every single day. Anime King, Anime King 2, and Making 3, Anime Prince. So go ahead and check them out, link will be down in the description. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. Oh, don't forget to turn on the bell notifications, stay posted. Let's jump right into this, begin now. So the last spot we left off, Naruto was 10 years old, as he was training under Tobirama. Tobirama was beyond impressed by Naruto's growth. Because of his use of shadow clones, Naruto was able to maximize his growth. Tobirama made sure that he taught Naruto every aspect, space-time ninjutsu, everything, so once he was gone, Naruto would have the fundamentals to start into the more advanced areas. Tobirama wrote down everything that he got on a scroll, every single thing of his teaching, so that Naruto could take it and become the splendid shinobi that Tobirama knew that he would become. However, for now he was still training Naruto. For the next 2 years they trained like crazy as Naruto was put through a regime, strengthening him, not to mention focusing on his water and also wind manipulation as well, as Naruto has gotten ridiculously good over the years. However, he still remained at the top 10 in the class despite being stronger than almost everyone there. Naruto limited his skills to make sure that no one was obvious of what he was doing, not to mention to not put too much spotlight on him, as Naruto was playing it safe. Tobirama was quite happy to how smart Naruto had gotten in terms of, well, analyzing and also figuring out things. When the kid first came here, he was a different person, and now, look at him. Tobirama was extremely proud, yes. He was proud of his little prodigy. Years passed as Naruto continued to grow and strive and got better. The time had finally came where Naruto was going to set out to be a ninja now, as Tobirama told him that it was time. Despite everything that they went through, despite how hard the man could be sometimes, a tear still came to Naruto's eye, as he was beyond grateful to the man. The man had listened to him and taught him everything that he knew, as Naruto wanted to thank him. But Tobirama did not care much for tears, as he gave Naruto the scroll. He told him that he believed in him, as Naruto watched his chakra slowly dissipated. When the time came, the exam was a breeze for Naruto as he passed through it, without any hesitation at all. He also informed the Hokage about Mizuki, well, not in the sense of that, he informed him that someone was trying to mess with his tests. Hiruzen quickly got on it as he found out that Mizuki was actually working for Orochimaru. He had to summon Jiraiya back to the village to think that Orochimaru had someone so deep, as he was planning on stealing the Forbidden Scroll. That meant the Snake Sanin was up to something. Aruka was working on placing the teams before he finalized it with the Hokage. Because of Naruto's sudden growth, he could not place the teams like how he wanted it before. So he came up with an idea, as he presented to the Hokage Naruto, Shikamaru and Hinata, Kiba, Sasuke and Sakura, Shino, Ino and Choji. As Hiruzen looked over the files and checked them out, after realizing they matched and were able to protect each other's skills, he agreed. The day finally came as the teams were announced. Hinata Hyuga used to have a deep crush on Naruto Uzumaki, but things were now different. That look that she once saw in his eyes, it was no longer there. It was replaced with something much more calm. Despite her still stuttering a bit, Hinata did not feel that same attraction that she once felt towards him. And now they were placed on a team, it was just different. Their Jonin sensei was Asuma Saratobi. As he arrived the day, he had them all introduce themselves as they told him a bit about themselves. As Naruto was not that bad with his team, Shikamaru was smart, a bit on the lazy side which Naruto would have to beat out of him. Hinata was shy but she was powerful. She would just need a boost in her confidence. As Asuma could see this as well, he could also see that Naruto was not the dead last like what he used to be, as Naruto had fly through the ranks of the academy and become something great, in the top 10 to be exact, as Shikamaru knew that Naruto was holding back a mystery as well, until Naruto told him that he just studied a few things. However, Naruto knew a bit about the clans that Shikamaru was surprised to hear. It seemed like he knew about all of them, as Asuma told him to arrive the next day. Their goal was to hit him 3 times, as it was their test. They were shocked when Asuma came towards them and knocked 3 of them away. However, Naruto was able to react and jump away in the last moment. He never said that he wouldn't hit back, as he gave them 10 minutes to formulate a strategy and a plan in order to pass this test, as all 3 of them flashed away. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playcheck to for yourself, and don't forget to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, with this we jump right into this new episode begin now guys. Asuma was upon them in a split second, as both Shikamaru and Hinata was not bad by the man, but Naruto was able to use a substitution that fast. Once the 3 had gathered, Shikamaru turned towards the blonde. What the hell, Naruto? How were you able to move that fast? Shikamaru said. I thought you were a genius, Shikamaru. All I did was a simple substitution, said Naruto. As Shikamaru frowned at that comment, I practiced it a lot, so it became like second nature to me. Shikamaru, we only have 10 minutes to come up with something, said Hinata, as Shikamaru frowned at that comment. The Naruto Enigma was more troublesome without him displaying better skills than he showed at the academy. But Hinata was right. Right now, figuring out Asuma test took priority. Shikamaru did not need 2 seconds to realize that neither of them could attack Asuma alone. The man's first attack was able to demonstrate that alright. Obviously, they need to attack him together if they hope to pass. Figuring that out was the easy part, now came the actual part where they formulated a strategy to actually get this done, as they need to attack him 3 times. I think I have an idea, he said, as he told him his idea. 10 minutes later, Asuma threw away his cigarette, as he began searching for the 3 of them. So far he considered their ability to hide at least tolerable, even if he could find Hinata and Shikamaru. He was about to extend his senses to find Naruto when shurikens came from his left at great speeds. As he was surprised, he had to use Chunin skills and evade them, before he turned and blocked a kick from Naruto, as he was surprised at such a taijutsu level. However, he held his ground against the growing mystery in front of him. From what he focused on Naruto's stance, it was based on agility, but his strikes had tremendous power behind them. The entire thing took 5 minutes and Naruto was not showing any signs of slowing down, showing wonderful stamina for a kid. As Naruto managed to evade the incoming kick, Asuma pressed on until he saw a couple of shurikens and kunais coming towards him from multiple directions. As Naruto took the opportunity to unleash his blade and attack Asuma at the same time, the Jonin evaded them all until he saw a shadow stretching towards his direction. Using a quick sunshine, Asuma flashed away. However, he had to turn and block a shuriken. The man was shocked as he turned to see the outstretched arm of Naruto, as Asuma's arm got nicked by the shuriken slightly. So distracted and shocked by Naruto able to predict where he went, he almost got hit with a Jayugen in the chest. Damn these kids, Asuma thought, an amused expression on his face. They almost got him twice already. Naruto surely demonstrated skills that did not belong to a genin. Shikamaru was the one that came up with the idea, and Hinata's movements were better than he expected them to be. He guessed it was time to spice things up a bit, he thought. One thing was certain, as he smiled, he was having a good time. In a different location, Kasuke was sitting by himself, as he was preparing some lunch. The only company that he had was the trees that the first brought to Konoha. Not many people knew about this history. That man created the first landscape of the village, but these trees were rather special. The esteemed Hoshirama Senju created these trees as a gift to his wife Mito Uzumaki upon their marriage. Each of these trees carried the man's chakra, and every time he came here, he remembered the presence of that man, as it brought him a nostalgic feeling. With a smile at the memory, he sliced the nutrients for inside the bowl, as he poured some hot water for his trademark stew. Of course, the amount that he was preparing was enough for his new guests, hence he didn't even have to look up to see him approaching. Fancy meeting you here, Kasuke said, as he took a seat at the rock in front of the eternal Genin. Ah, third Kage-sama. Lovely of you to visit only to me. Please take a seat and I'll serve you a dish if you like. As Hiruzen smiled and accepted the plate. Kasuke was a splendid shinobi, but the man was an even better chef. For a while the both of them eat in silence as they reminisce on this place and who the place reminded them of. After one repetition, the third returned back the dish, thanking for the meal, as Kasuke took them towards a nearby stream and watched them clean. As he then came back and sat down. I take it that you've been chatting with young Naruto-kun. As Kasuke nodded. Yeah, we had quite the entertaining conversation every now and then. He would ask conversation about the past Kages and even some missions that I went alongside with them, and even you. I can see the glow in his eyes when I spoke. As Hiruzen nodded with a smile. It appears. However, in telling him those stories, I end up inspiring him more than necessary. Every time I saw him, his clothing was ragged, and there was a few visible bruises on him. Well, Hiruzen said, his growth in the academy is nothing but surprising. I even say that he dare hold back. Really? Kasuke said. Yes, ever since he improved. His teacher noticed that Naruto would sometimes miss a few shuriken throws on purpose. When he took the Genin test, when he had surprised everyone with 6 out of 10, he was able to hit 2 more. He couldn't have trained in advance because the last time he practiced was 2 days before the test. As Kasuke thought about it, Naruto always seemed smart. Smarter than he led people to believe. So sly of you, Naruto-kun, he thought. As Hiruzen saw the change of expression on Kasuke's face. Would you happen to know something, Kasuke? He asked. Well, it may be old school thinking here, but I believe that Naruto's intentions were similar to how you and I grew up. If he demonstrated everything that he could do, then everyone will know that he has a few skills. However, he's not comfortable in sharing them just yet. Who's to say really? But it's quite exciting, don't you think? Perhaps he has learned elemental ninjutsu, perhaps he's training in genjutsu techniques. Quite the mystery he is. Just like his father. Hiruzen frowned at the thought of Naruto keeping secrets, but he couldn't help but reminisce. When he first saw the Rasengan and then the Hiraishin, as he couldn't help but smile and remember how Minato was able to break all limitation and became one of the greatest shinobis. Those were different times back then, but I guess I cannot fault young Naruto if he's holding back or hiding his skills. Kasuke smiled as he glanced towards the heavens. I believe the lad is currently taking his test with his sensei, right? As Hiruzen nodded. As Hiruzen realized if Naruto was indeed hiding his skills at the academy, then he would indeed catch his son by surprise. Meanwhile, with Team 10, the test continued as the group tried to hit their Jonin sensei. After the first one, it appeared that the man increased his speed a bit more. This time, however, both Shikamaru and Hinata were both alert. The strategy remained the same as Shikamaru used long-range support. As Naruto and Hinata faced the man up close, of course Hinata could not keep up for long, meaning that Naruto had to cover for her more than actually attacking him. He remembered what Kasuke said to him before the test. A side of him frowned at the prospect of protecting a teammate instead of fulfilling his goal, but another side of him remembered the second Hokage teaching followed by a bunch of water whips. Hinata did not have the same training level that he had, so it was obvious that she would be having some trouble against Chunin level speed. With that in mind, Naruto started to analyze and plan, as he could only use the 3 academy jutsus without making Asuma suspicious. Anti-jutsu, and also a smirk came on Naruto's face. Asuma will not know what hit him, he thought to himself. Asuma flipped away as the shadow tried to grab his shadow as he deflected Naruto's shurikens. He then focused on dodging Hinata's Jayugen strike. There was an amused look that was on his face. These 3 were working well together and they also had good individual skills. After pushing Hinata back, he looked back to see 2 Narutos attacking him at the same time. The surprise only lasted for a second as he waited for them to come. However, the both of them simply passed through him, indicating the use of a normal clone jutsu. That is when he noticed a real one on his side, with a ninjato about to slice his head off. Asuma increased his speed as he blocked it with his trademark trench knife. As shurikens came from his back, Asuma had to use a quick substitution to escape. Damn it! Shikamaru's voice came from the bush. They almost had him. There's no need for that, Shikamaru. Glancing up, they saw Asuma standing there. Because I'll count those 2 as a hits. That mean the 3 of you pass my tests. As Shikamaru and Naruto stepped out of the bushes, Shikamaru looked relieved. Asuma believed that it had something to do with his mother. Hinata looked was one of joy. Asuma remembered that he needed to speak to her father about him becoming her Jonin sensei. Personally, he did not care that much for shinobi politics, but Shikamaru's father was different from Hayashi Hyuga. A powerful shinobi but an even more powerful politician that man was. And finally, he memorized Naruto's expression. His expression did not change much. He could see some joy like Hinata but on a smaller scale, and relief like Shikamaru but on a smaller scale as well. His dream was to rise to the ranks, that is what he told me. Perhaps he's already looking ahead, Asuma thought, glancing towards Naruto. Alright, he said. As I said before, you guys are now members of Team 10. You all impressed me with a considerable level of teamwork. Even your individual skills are worth mentioning, which is good since you all just graduated from the academy. For now, we will assume a simple schedule. We will meet here every day to train. Throughout the fight, I noticed areas that you need to improve on, so we will work on those. And other things, of course. After training, we shall take missions. And I'm guessing 2 missions a day, just to get you all started. All 3 of them nodded, earning a smile from the bearded Jonin. Now, all of you are dismissed for today. See you all tomorrow. Naruto, please stay here for a moment, he said. As Naruto bid the others farewell, as he remained behind. Naruto, I asked you to stay behind because, unlike Shikamaru and Hinata, you don't have a family to rely on. As he saw the look on Naruto's face, before he realized he could have phrased that better. Sorry about that, he said. It came out wrong. What I meant to say is, while they will be training with your family, or either me, you will be training with only me, so I will be focusing more on your skills than theirs. Also, if you have any doubts about anything, feel free to ask me, okay? As Naruto nodded his head, okay Asuma-sensei, he said, I understand. Also, from what I've seen from your fight, it's my understanding that you did not perform like this at the academy, correct? As Naruto scratched the back of his head at being caught, it's not like he used any of the techniques that he knew. Asuma only saw his taijutsu, kinjutsu, and shurikenjutsu. The bearded Jonin smiled at his student before he nodded. There is nothing wrong with what you did, Naruto. Quite opposite in fact. There is nothing wrong in not showing everything that you can do in a fight except for a situation of life or death. That being said, I do have to ask, are you still hiding your skills? Naruto talked a lot with his second to know when someone was fishing for information. He would not tell the whole truth, just a fraction of what he can. Well, I trained a lot throughout the academy, sensei. I had many problems controlling my chakra, so aside from what I displayed today, I also trained a lot in chakra control. I found this scroll in the library, detailing some advanced chakra control exercise, and I learned tree and water walking. Asuma tried to remember if that information was there for academy students, but he drew a blank. That aside, that was beyond impressive. That is quite impressive. Asuma became a bit giddy at the thought of training a genius. This will certainly aid us in your ninjutsu and, dare I say, genjutsu training, if you want it, but for now, we shall focus on getting you up to speed in taijutsu and kinjutsu as well. Your moves are solid from what I could see, so we just have to keep on practicing it. Even if you train a lot like you said, there is no better training than fighting against a real opponent. You will be sparring with both me and your teammates on a regular basis. I could even get you to spar with others, but we'll cross that bridge later on. Any question? As Naruto shook his head negatively. Nope, everything's fine, Asuma-sensei, he said. I have to say, though, I'm quite eager for the mission tomorrow. Asuma smirked hearing that comment. Naruto's excitement would surely end once he learned what kind of mission they will be going on. After saying goodbye to his student Asuma, Sunshin towards the Hokage's office. With a smile, Naruto proceeded to Sunshin towards his own apartment, as he figured that he should start learning a genjutsu technique. To this day, the only aspect that he trained in genjutsu is the concept behind both illusion casting and disruption. The second taught him how to manipulate his chakra in order to disrupt his opponent's chakra. He also taught him how to incorporate and dispel illusions. Now it was up to Naruto to learn the actual techniques. The second Hokage repertoire of genjutsu was rather limited compared to the others. The man may have been an all-around shinobi, but he had his areas that he focused on, as genjutsu was not one of them. Time skip, Hokage's office. There was only 3 teams that had passed, 7, 8, and 10. The rest were either not ready to become genin or did not have the right mentality. The only surprising event was Kakashi Hatake had passed his team. Kakashi had failed almost every team that he came across, with the same excuse each time: they lack proper teamwork. This time he passed one team though. However, it might have to do with one of the members possessing a Sharingan. and Kakashi was the only one that could actually teach him. Now Asuma was sitting in front of his father enjoying a cup of tea. Chakra control, you say? Here's an axe. As Asuma nodded, as he just told him how better Naruto performed than what he showed at the academy and display. About his problem with chakra control, I would say that it's rather nice he thought about it, but for me, I don't know. I would say that it's rather convenient. Hiruzen nodded as well. My thoughts exactly. An increase in chakra control surely would have allowed him to fight more efficiently, but no academy student would think that far ahead. Not by himself anyway. He even said that he found a scroll in the library about chakra control exercises. Asuma nodded, confirming his father's question. The silence allowed Hiruzen to ponder on the enigma for a moment. For some reason Naruto was keen on hiding his full abilities. That in itself posed a $1,000,000 question. Why exactly? From what Hiruzen remembered, Naruto had a rather loud personality, and he could not contain his tongue. He always tell Hiruzen everything. The lad started change pretty much the same time that his grades started improving in the academy. Meant that whatever happened to me was back then. The one thing that Hiruzen was afraid of was not that something happened to Naruto, but someone. As great as his improvement in the academy was, the fact that Naruto of all people focus on chakra control was rather mind-blowing. He would expect such discipline from a chunin, not an academy student, meaning that perhaps someone point him in said direction. Your space note on me, old man. What are you thinking? Hiruzen blinked once as he looked towards the amused expression on his eldest son's face. I'm considering the possibility of Naruto receiving training by someone, and that it started 3 years ago. Asuma frowned. Of course it was not forbidden for a member of Konohagakure to be interested in an academy student, thus giving him or her some tips or even outright focusing on their training. The problem relied that the Hokage did not know anything about it, especially considering Naruto tenant. Because of the fox being inside of him, any sort of training would have to be taken into consideration. Certainly, here's the need to keep tabs if someone decides to help the village in Juliki. Do you have a name in mind? Asuma asked. Hiruzen shook his head. I know that Kasuke talked to Naruto sometimes on occasion, but he would know better than to train him without talking to me first. Asuma knew about said man, who was dubbed the Eternal Genin. He knew the only reason why the man was still a Genin was because of a failed mission a long time ago, when he was under the second Hokage ruling. The man's skills were easily Jonin level. He could have supplied Naruto with some tips. Well, he could have taught Naruto about chakra control exercises, so it would match. Asuma pondered out loud after all. The man could have said something to Naruto while talking to him. Perhaps you're right, Hiruzen said, but I still believe that Naruto is more capable than he shows. I can't allow instinct to guide my decision, but so far, instinct is all I'm counting on here. What do you want me to do then? At times Asuma was afraid of asking these questions to his leader. After all, the man was obligated to make decisions that would affect the village. If the Hokage perceived a threat, he would have to handle it accordingly. For now, just keep your eyes open, considering that both of his teammates will receive training from their clans. You will focus on his training more. Sir Tobi, Asuma nodded, as he already said that to Naruto. Depending on the material that you decide to teach him, it's possible that he already knows. Nevertheless, if he's keen on hiding what he knows, then I'm sure that it won't take long for him to show a complete exercise. Wait, do you really believe that something as far as elemental ninjutsu is under the grasp of a genuine student? As Asuma looked towards his father, like he was crazy. From what you told me, he shows great prowess in Kaijutsu, Kinjutsu, and Shurikenjutsu. He even told you that he mastered both water and tree walking exercise. The next step beyond that is to have him focus on elemental jutsus. It's not a far-fetched notion. If he's indeed receiving training from someone, it's not surprising that they would drill him in chakra control without having him learn any kind of ninjutsu. Asuma found himself agreeing to his father's words. He was right. I understand what you're saying and I'll keep my eye on him. But tell me, what exactly are you more concerned about? Whoever is training him doesn't believe I should be aware of it. I can only count one individual in Konoha that would do something like this behind my back. As Asuma found one name alone in his mind as Hiruzen said that. Shimura Danzo. Time skip with Naruto. Not knowing that he was a topic of discussion, Naruto was working on the demonic illusion, false, surrounding technique, a genjutsu art. According to the scroll, it was a low-level genjutsu that focused on tricking the opponent into mistaking the place that he was in for another. It was rather weak in an open battlefield, but In close quarter spaces, it was rather effective. After about 15 minutes of reading, Naruto felt nostalgic. He felt this way every time he read Tobirama scroll, as he imagined himself sitting inside the cave, as the man lectured him about a technique or two. He missed the man like crazy, but he was sure not miss those damn water whips of his. With a nostalgic smile, Naruto returned back to the scroll as he started to read. Time skip. Naruto Shikamaru came home as his face was full of a look of deep concentration. Both Yoshino and Shikaku was in the living room, talking about something when they saw their son enter. Yoshino was about to ask him about the test until she saw the look on his face, as Shikaku saw it as well. They both knew that their son was a genius and there wasn't much in the academy that made him stump. His son had just came back from Asuma tests. Shikaku doubted that he failed the exam, which meant whatever was troubling his mind became a mystery. So, how was the test? As Shikamaru stopped and glanced up towards his parents. It was the most troublesome experience of my life, that's for sure. As Shikaku raised the eyebrow, as Shikamaru proceeded to explain, from him and the academy straight towards the test. Both of them looked at him rather shocked. This was the longest that they heard him monologue for. He always found that talking was not worth his relaxation time. However, they understand his plight. However, Shikaku already saw the solution, as he didn't understand why it was bothering his son so much. Based on what you told me, Naruto did the exact same thing that you did in the academy, Shikamaru. The young Naruto blinked a few times. He looked towards his father. You mean he was only shown enough to pass? Shikamaru came up with this idea because he did not care much about the academy workload. As such, he demonstrated enough skill to reach the minimum of the academy. Naruto, on the other hand, was a different story completely. Sure, as his father said, he did the exact same thing that he did. He only showed enough to become the middle of the classroom. Sure, while Shikamaru was lazy, Naruto was the complete opposite though. Why did he though? Shikaku said as he drank some of his tea, as he was pondering on Shikamaru's question. In actuality, the Naruto clan always positioned himself in a state of neutrality when he came towards the village in Jinchuriki status. As such, he would constantly hear two parties arguing in the council session, which being the Hokage and Danzo Shamura. Danzo would always try to undermine Naruto's skill set and demand that Hiruzen hand him over so that he could train him properly as a weapon of Konoha. The Hokage though will have none of it and deny his requests each and every time. However, those discussions ended as soon as Naruto grades. The improvement reached the council chambers. Danzo still wanted Naruto, but his demands diminished over time until he stopped completely talking about it. In fact, if you recall correctly, the last time they spoke about Naruto was 6 months ago. Perhaps he believed that it was not wise to show his full capabilities. I can remember a lot of shinobi in our court that did the same thing. Kakashi Hatake and Itachi Uchiha come to mind. Shikamaru remembered those names, one of them being a Jonin sensei now, and the other one committed the Uchiha genocide. For his father to compare Naruto Uzumaki with those two, it only increased how troublesome his blonde teammate was. Whatever, he said. I had enough for today, I'm going to bed. Tomorrow his ninja career will begin, and little did he know what a complete drag it would be. Time skip. It was late in the night as one Naruto Uzumaki opened the door to his apartment as he flipped on the light. All he wanted to do right now is crash on the bed, as he was covered in bruises, as he wanted to allow the high regeneration power of the Kyuubi to work its magic on his wounds. It has been 4 weeks, non-stop. His team would meet every day at training ground 10. He woke up a couple hours earlier so that he could do some extra training, as he would leave the physical workout to his team training, as it was prudent for him to spar against someone like Asuma or his teammates, than him going up against his shadow clones the entire time. After a couple spars, Asuma took them towards the Hokage office for a D-rank mission. When Naruto understood what a D-rank mission was, he could only picture the look on Tobirama's face, as he knew that those missions, not real missions, chores, did not exist in wartime. They were nothing but chores. Back then, the village earned its money with more hard missions. Perhaps the only risk-free missions back then was deliver a scroll to another village. After they were visibly shot by all the D ranks and what they entail, they got 2 for the day. As Shikamaru was really against the idea of doing any, but Naruto insisted that they just do it. Even after completing the first 2, Naruto was able to convince the third to give him another one. He argued that it would benefit his income, since he no longer received any help. As since then Naruto has been doing solo D-rank missions. In fact, that was the reason why he was now in this state. Apparently, a civilian wanted to test his fighting skills against a genuine shinobi. And Hiruzen saw no problem giving this to Naruto, considering that Asuma said Naruto taijutsu was good. But Hiruzen forgot to mention that the civilian was an actual retired samurai who abandoned the art of a sword in favor of using taijutsu. The spar, if Naruto could call it that, lasted for about an hour as they traded equal blows. The client had strength over him and also experience as well, while Naruto had agility that was passed on from his second. Still, the client applauded Naruto for his fighting abilities and told Naruto that he would report to the Hokage the next day. For Naruto experience, it was a boom to be, well, sparring with someone like that. However, for his body was upset at him right now. Man, I swear that guy has bones of steel. Well, I guess I can skip training tomorrow for some more sleep, as Naruto ended up passing out the moment he touched the bed. The next morning, as Naruto opened his eyes in the sunlight, touched his face, usually, he would be out already, even before the sunlight was even up. But now, he had slept in. This was probably the first time since he met the second Hokage that he slept in for so long. The pain from yesterday was no longer bothering him, as he went about his morning routine. His team normally met up about 2 hours from now so he could take his time. But his body was used to speeding this up, so he quickly took no other than 20 minutes. Now he had some time to kill, as he wondered what should he focus on now. Making his way to his closet, Naruto found 2 small scrolls, as he opened them and placed them on the kitchen table like a cross. As Naruto went through hand sign before, he bit his finger and swiped his blood across the scroll, as kanji started to mark and line almost everywhere, until it was a poof, as a large scroll that the second Hokage left for him was standing there. Once he opened the big scroll, Naruto went through the taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu session before going towards the other stuff, namely space-time ninjutsu and also fuinjutsu as well. There was a lot of information about the technique called the Edo Tensei, but Tobirama only wrote how to release it, not to perform it. The description Naruto read as he realized he could summon the dead. That was enough for him to steer clear away from it. Regarding space-time and also fuinjutsu, Tobirama already told him that it will take a while for him to get a grasp of that. The scroll explained that it would be better for him to focus on fuinjutsu first so he would have the aptitude for space-time ninjutsu when the time comes. Tobirama's trademark ability behind his water technique was the famous Harashin. It was a space-time ninjutsu used with a fuinjutsu formula. All these words gave Naruto nothing but a headache, but Tobirama never expected for him to learn these until he became at least a jonin. So far, Naruto decided to work on the beginner fuinjutsu formula. Storage seal and explosive seals was amongst his knowledge for the moment, as they would definitely help him a lot in the coming genin days. For the moment though, Naruto did not have money to purchase scrolls. That would have to wait until he started doing C-rank missions. Tobirama also instructed that he spend some time in the library, focusing on fuinjutsu. Therefore, he was going to make a few trips after his team session. As Naruto started to think about the knowledge and information passed down towards him from the second Hokage, it was one thing when the man was here to help him, but now he was alone doing this. What if Naruto shook his head, remembering Tobirama telling him that thinking about the what ifs was a waste of time. Time skip, training ground. Arriving on time, Naruto went over toward the sensei who was calmly smoking a cigarette. Ever since they became Team 10, Naruto's relationship with his sensei improved a lot. Despite Naruto being unable to use his full repertoire, he enjoyed their training sessions. As their team was starting on chakra control exercises, Asuma used this opportunity to pass the ball to Naruto. Since he learned it, Asuma urged Naruto to teach the craft to both Shikamaru and Hinata. Hinata got it right though on her third try, as Naruto was not surprised given the clan that she was from. The Gyugen require precise strikes more than anything else. Shikamaru was not bad, but he did take 3 days. But the moment Naruto explained, he already understood though. Well, the Nara clan was known for their brain after all, not their actual work. But applying it into practice, Shikamaru did not bother to apply himself 100%. As such, Naruto kept on complaining the entire time, much to Hinata and Asuma amusement. A couple more taijutsu drills were run before they went for the boring D-rank missions, as Naruto could not complain much since they were his main source of income, but he wanted to vent out his frustration on whoever created these. Normally Asuma would dismiss his team after they were done, but today he had a different idea. He gathered his team for some nice barbecue and some much needed conversation. Well, it's been 4 weeks since we began, and I believe that I should discuss something important with you all. It's my job as your sensei to guide you and train you to becoming accomplished shinobis and kunoichis. However, that doesn't mean I can simply choose what is right for any one of you. You three have a great deal of different skills to choose from, which will determine the kind of shinobi you will be in the future. For example, I chose to focus on training my ninjutsu fighting with my trench knife. While it was true that I should learn more skills as a jonin, I always stay focused on what I chose. But I still venture in the other arts as well. That being said, I understand that both Hinata and Shikamaru has clan techniques to fall back on, but that doesn't mean that you cannot learn different skills as well. In fact, I believe it's prudent, seeing that your clans are well known through the elemental countries. The Hyuga clan are powerful, but in a close range fight, in a long range battle, Jayugen is not effective. The shadow techniques of Nara clan are also well known. Hinata and Shikamaru both nodded as they knew bits and pieces about their fellow clan members dying because of said weaknesses. Troublesome, I understand that, sensei. As Asuma showed an apologetic smile. So, I would like to hear you first, Shikamaru. As a Nara, your intellect is your most cunning weapon. Your chakra control has improved as well as your taijutsu. I am betting that your father is instructing you in clan techniques. My clan jutsu has many uses and also a lot of different ways to use them. The enemy may know about them but they can't know for sure what I may do. But then again, I'm talking about enemies that are close to my level here. Asuma nodded at that as Shikamaru continued. Like you said, sensei, my mind is my most cunning weapon. So I was thinking about skills to complement my clan jutsu, like genjutsu perhaps. As Naruto was listening intently to Shikamaru, as he couldn't help but applaud his choice of choosing genjutsu. Who would have thought that the lazy ass would apply himself with such a demanding art? It required great chakra control though. Genjutsu, huh, said Asuma. An interesting choice. You can use your clan techniques as primary offense, complemented by illusions. Not bad. I guess I can give you the basics then. Ask for help from a specialist. Asuma actually believed that it would be better if Shikamaru went for offensive techniques like taijutsu and even ninjutsu though. Then he flinched as he remembered having a heated discussion with a genjutsu specialist about the art. Okay, good, he said. Hinata, how about you? As the three of them looked towards her, Hinata kind of flinched before she rubbed her hands together. Asuma frowned at that. He remembered his conversation with Kurenai, to how Hayashi treated his eldest daughter, as her personality as a whole was because of the man. As her personality, her shyness really amped up after her mother perished. She was improving her confidence though, gradually as she trained with Naruto and Shikamaru. Both boys realized they made every effort to help her. While I was thinking about training in long-range skills, perhaps archery. She looked at both Naruto and Shikamaru for reassurance. She relaxed when she saw them smile and nodded her. Archery, huh? Fine idea. With your Byakugan, you could be quite lethal from a distance. Most impressive if you want. I can accompany you for the necessary supplies, so you can begin practicing. I am sure that your teammates would aid you, especially Naruto. If you're able to hit someone like him while he's moving, then you're good to go. Naruto was smiling at the timid girl until that part as he snapped his head towards Asuma, who was smiling. What do you think I am, a living target? I may be fast, but I don't like the thought of being hit by her arrows on a daily basis, you know? Hinata brought her hand up as she giggled a bit. This will be training for you as well in agility. With her Byakugan, her aim will be top notch. Once the arrow fly from her bow, you will have little time to dodge. The man barked in laughter as Naruto started to mumble and curse at him. Oh come on Naruto, don't be like that. I'm sure that Hinata would not target her vital organs, so you'll be safe. If she's able to hit you, that means you're not fast enough, and that's all. And to think, I was beginning to like you, said Naruto, as Asuma laughed some more. He was enjoying this team greatly. Okay, enough teasing. How about you, Naruto, he said. As Asuma was waiting for this answer in anticipation, the kid was gifted more than a seasoned genin. His chakra control was excellent, his ninjutsu and taijutsu was outstanding. Asuma had a prodigy in his hand and Naruto could specialize in almost anything. Naruto had a clear choice in mind, but he also had a few side projects, as it would be rather amusing if he said space-time ninjutsu or fuinjutsu, to see that look on his sensei face. I would like to find out my ninjutsu affinity and master it, said Naruto. Asuma nodded with a smile. With his prowess in the battlefield, he had no doubt that the boy will be a literal force to be feared. Elemental ninjutsu, you say? Well, that's quite some advanced stuff. However, with your chakra control, it's not impossible. Most shinobis take a lot of time to learn any element. Hey sensei, how can I learn my element? Asuma was surprised at this sudden question. With time, his suspicion lessened, but it was still there. Both Shikamaru and Hinata was also interested. There's a special paper to determine one's affinity. Actually, I have it with me. Shikamaru, Hinata, do you want to learn yours as well? It depends on the amount of work I have to do, Shikamaru said, as both Hinata and Asuma's sweat dropped, as Naruto almost created a water whip to whip Shikamaru. All you have to do is focus your chakra on this piece of paper. I will explain the rest once you're done. Hinata, why don't you go first? Hinata nodded as she took the paper and closed her eyes. As she felt water in her hand as she opened her eyes, she looked towards her sensei who nodded but he said nothing. Shikamaru went next as the paper ignited and turned to ash. Naruto went next as the paper split down the middle, both half getting moist. Asuma hid his surprise by Naruto's result. His father would definitely want to hear this. Okay then, Hinata affinity is towards water ninjutsu, and yours is fire, Shikamaru. As for you, Naruto, you have two. Wind seemed to be your main, while water is your secondary. As Naruto showed off a surprised face, Asuma allowed them to partake in some conversation between one another about their elements while he think about the blonde enigma. Naruto's elations of not knowing about his elements struck him as quite odd, considering the Hokage's suspicion. If someone was indeed tutoring Naruto from the shadows, then of course he would know about his element affinity, but that didn't seem to be the case. So Shikamaru wanted to get trained in Engenjutsu, and Hinata need archery while Naruto wanted to focus on elemental manipulation. Yeah, I can definitely pull all of that. However, for you Naruto, we'll have to speak to the Hokage first. Naruto gave him a look. Well, you see, it's very dangerous for someone of your caliber to learn elemental jutsu like this. However, given who your sensei is, I believe it will go over well. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Well, I'm considered to be the best, one of the best wind users in Konoha, and given that you have an element for it, there will be no better suited to teach you than me. Really? That's awesome, sensei, said Naruto. Hinata giggled by the amount of energy and excitement that came from Naruto, unaware that all of this was just an act. Well, not completely, as Naruto now had a main source to teach him wind. As he already had water from the second Hokage, now he had another sensei to teach him wind. Eventually, they left the restaurant as Asuma went straight toward his father's office. As he told him everything, he was excited. Dare I say that he was clueless before, which struck me rather odd if you say that you were suspicious about someone training him. Hiruzen nodded. Indeed, perhaps this growth is just him applying himself harder in his studies and training. It pained me to consider the possibility that Naruto-kun was hiding from me, but I had to look at it from all possible angles, as Hiruzen allowed himself to look down in shame for his actions. Maybe Naruto was not lying to him after all. When the boy was not doing good in the academy, he wished the boy would apply himself, and now he was, and he showed a lack of faith in the boy's growth. Okay, Asuma, I will allow you to start his wind training, but only the theory and elemental control for the moment. Asuma nodded and got up. Would I be wrong in assuming that you're no longer interested in the investigation of Naruto? Thus far, he has not demonstrated anything beyond exceptional skills that were taught in the academy. The two chakra control exercises aside, every one of his skills are centered around taijutsu, kinjutsu, and shurikenjutsu. If someone else was actually teaching him, he would certainly possess a variant of skills at the moment. Yes, there's no reason for us to keep looking anymore, Asuma. I can tell that he will only grow as a shinobi, and it is our duty to guide him. Good to know, because I'm enjoying my team more and more. It will be a shame to interrupt their growth, based on assumptions. See you later, old man, he said, as he proceeded to flash away, leaving Hiruzen alone, pondering on Naruto records. If the boy showed this much promise in what he was doing in taijutsu, the boy would no doubt be a prodigy in ninjutsu as well, going down the same path as Sasuke Uchiha, Kakashi's student. Hiruzen was feeling great promise for this new generation, as Naruto and Sasuke, they were the only ones that show skills in everything. Naruto was greater than Sasuke though, because he had no one to assist him, and yet he was already at this level. It was quite impressive. Right now Sasuke had the slightest advantage because his family taught him fire ninjutsu, but that would change once Naruto get the hang of his element. Hiruzen had no doubt that Naruto would catch on very quickly, even if it was something greatly advanced like wind manipulation. The next day, the team began their morning routine like usual. After 2 hours of sparring, Asuma gathers Jennings. Okay team, now we'll go for a mission, but before we do that, I would like to follow up on our talk yesterday. First with you, Shikamaru, he said. Since you're interested in learning genjutsu, I asked a favor from another jonin that specialized in the field. For now, she believed it prudent for you to learn the theory behind the art of illusion, so here you go. As he tossed him a scroll. In that scroll, she detailed not only the basics but some chakra control exercises. Genjutsu required great chakra control to perform after all. Shikamaru released a sigh in dismay as he thought about all the work that you will have to do. Is it too late to change my mind about this? I get the feeling it's gonna be a lot more troublesome than I thought. As Asuma simply smirked at him. Naruto, you wish to learn wind manipulation like Shikamaru. We will start with the theory first before we go on to practice exercises. It will take plenty of time for you to start learning techniques, but we have plenty of time for that. On the inside, Naruto groaned, but on the outside, he took the scroll. He already knew this. As he opened the scroll and started to read right away. Now with Hinata, before we go to the Hokage office, we shall stop at a weapon store and purchase a bow and a set of arrows. So let's go, shall we? As he started to walk. As a team walked, Asuma saw another jonin, reading just like Naruto. Morning, Kakashi. As usual, the Scarecrow simply waved him off, not taking his eyes off his book until something bumped into his stomach. As he glanced down to see blonde hair, as Naruto glanced up towards him, with two apologetic looking eyes. Kakashi have to admit that he interacted very little with his sensei's son. Well, very little was a false statement. The most they did was when Kakashi had to shadow him in his Anbu days, and even then they did not speak to each other. But despite it all, he heard the stories from Asuma and the Hokage himself, and he could see from the kid's posture that it was most likely true. Asuma came up to him 2 days ago, saying how skilled Naruto was, and he wanted to measure his skill against the Rookie of the Year, which was Sasuke Uchiha. At the time, Kakashi shrugged it off, saying that he would think about it. Oh, sorry about that, Jonin-san. I got carried away reading, said Naruto. As Kakashi simply waved it off. As he glanced, Asuma, about what you requested. I believe that we can arrange something about it. Now excuse me, he said. I'm late to meet up with my team. Asuma nodded with a smile on his face. Kakashi would never change his tardiness. Still, Kakashi had a keen eye for potential and definitely saw it in Naruto. Asuma-sensei, what was it that this Kakashi said? Shikamaru asked. Oh, it's nothing. A silly bet between us Jonins. Now let's keep moving, he said. In no time, Asuma helped Hinata pick out a proper bow. Before they made their way. Time skip, Hokage, mission room. The Hokage chose this day to join the mission deployment area. The rookie squads have yet to appear. He knew that Kakashi team would be the last, but usually Asuma and Kurenai team did not take this long. He smiled when he heard footsteps though. It seems like Team 10 came first day. Team 10 reporting for duty, Asuma said. Okay now Team 10, we have a long list of D rank for you guys to choose. This was Naruto cue to ignore him, as he wanted to complain about the waste of time of these missions, well, except for the ones that he completed so low, as Naruto had not tested himself yet. Sure, training with his team was nice and all, but Asuma would not push him that hard like an opponent would, as he wanted to see how far he has come. As they got the D rank, Asuma stopped at the door, causing the others to stop as well. And by the way, I believe that my team is ready for a C rank. Naruto was surprised to hear that, even Haruka, as he was one of the two names there. Or are they now? Well, perhaps tomorrow we shall choose one. As Asuma nodded, they then proceed to leave the room. Hokage-sama, is it truly wise to give them a C rank this soon? They graduated last month, Haruka said. While it's true that they lack experience, it's also true that these three are quite gifted genins. Shikamaru is quite the genius of the team and strategist, while Hinata Hyuga has a solid grasp of her Byakugan. Last but certainly not least, Naruto is probably the most giftedest of his generation. According to my son reports, Naruto ranked pretty high in almost everything a genin should learn, and I'm sure that he will be making great on his career. That is precisely why I'm allowing them to participate in C-rank missions. While Naruto is skilled, he lacks the experience. You can only face adversity and come out on top by learning. Haruka felt ashamed of what he had said, but he was still worried. I know that you're gifted, but I can't help to feel like it's too soon for them. Hiruzen simply smiled at him, knowing that he was worried. That goes to show how much you care for your students, Haruka. However, it's no time for them to venture outside the Great Walls and meet the world outside. Do not worry though, I do not plan to send them alone. Team 10 was polite about D-rank missions, but he saw it on Naruto's face. He disliked the subject. The other teams though will be more vocal about it, demanding a C rank. Haruka sighed as he knew that Kiba would explode any day now. And Sasuke would demand tougher assignments. You plan to send 2 teams then? As Harrison nodded, yes, but I would go to Kakashi's judgment beforehand though. He had a feeling that Kurenai, being a rookie jonin, would be more cautious, and Kakashi was looking for a way for his team to better integrate teamwork together. It was a valid method of teaching, and it has produced fine results over the years. If memory serve him correctly, the 4th Hokage did the same thing on his own team, in order to help them improve. The next day, mission office. Well, since both Asuma and Kakashi say that their teams are ready for a C-rank mission, I decide to accept both. Each team had a different reaction. As Kiba and Sasuke looked at each other, the both of them had a determined smile. Sakura looked scared, but she tried desperately to hide it. As Naruto could see that she took a small step closer to Sasuke, while Shikamaru muttered his favorite word, and Hinata was having doubts about herself. That was until Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder. Her confidence is surely diminished, but it will take time for it to vanish completely. However, instead of issuing both teams a mission, I decided to send both teams on one mission. Kiba interrupted, "Hey, we don't need these pansies, they will just slow us down." Kiba was wise enough to shut his mouth as Harrison gave him a look. Kakashi sighed his student outburst and apologized to Hokage on behalf of the Inuzaka, but not before he bumped Kiba on the head. As Naruto was reminded by the way he used to act, and that single look from the 2nd Hokage always had him shutting up. Still, Kiba was lucky. Tobirama had no qualms about getting physical, and by physical he mean water whip. There was one time the man even used a water bullet on him, as he had learned never to piss a Kage off. Now, as I was saying, both teams will be going on this mission. It insists of protecting a client from thieves and bandits as he traveled back to his homeland in the land of Wave. "Tazuna, please come in." The door opened as a man came in. Gray hair, he had a hat on, a v-neck shirt, a obe, as he had sandals, and also brown shorts. He was also holding a bottle as Kiba quickly grabbed his nose, as the man's stench of alcohol was extremely strong. "What is the meaning of this?" the man said. "I hired shinobis to protect me, not some fresh out of the diaper kids. I mean, look at that blonde shrimp over there. You can't tell me that he's a shinobi." Naruto heard snickers coming from Kiba. Naruto knew while his height was nothing impressive, the client was pushing it. Naruto could think of many things in order to do to prove to the man that he was a shinobi. That said, some of his skills would require him showing things that he should not know. So he simply pulled a kunai and threw it. The kunai passed Kiba's nose and stabbed right into the container, pouring all the alcohol over the old man. As Sasuke looked at the blonde in alarm, not remember him being that good. As Shikamaru simply sighed, Naruto did not like to be bullied based on appearance alone. It mattered little whether I'm a shinobi or not in the end. All it takes is that kunai going right to your neck, said Naruto. Naruto, we can't attack the client, you know, said Asuma. As Naruto nodded toward the sensei, "My deepest apologies, Tazuna-san," he said. "I just felt the need to convince you that I'm more than ready to protect you against thieves or bandits." As Tazuna nodded, but he felt like the kid was gonna throw one at him once again, so he kept his mouth shut. But guys, it'll be end so right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series of the other channels. More to come, so sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.